Hey guys, take a look at this. Axial has improved the SCX24 again. This is the new Wrangler JLU. It's actually version 3, and I'm going to show you the changes that they made to this platform. And it's actually just a few. So to give you guys a little bit more value in this video, I'm also going to show you the option parts Axial has available for it. Let's get into it. So inside the box, you're gonna get your assembled truck, the SLT2 radio system with some AA batteries to power that. You get a USB charger. The LiPo battery is already strapped down inside the truck. Instruction manual, decal, some extra parts, Allen wrench, extra body clip as well, and some shock preload clips. Now let's take a closer look at the rig itself. It actually looks like the previous version JLU, doesn't it? For those of you that are in the hobby, and it pretty much is. The body remains unchanged with the exception of the colors that are available. They have this Sarge green, I guess, paint job, and they also have the Sting gray. I like the Sarge green because I used to have a Gator Gladiator, and that was pretty close. But the other major change on the outside is actually the tires and the wheels as well. These are semi-chrome wheels, but the tire is a smaller diameter than the original rig. But these look a lot better. And the tread pattern is a licensed No Trail Grappler tire. Still got the mini front bumper with the LED lights in it, mini bumper in the rear. Same graphics, at least we could see through the windows on this. But I wish they did give us an interior as an upgrade on this V3 version. All right, let's take a look inside. The SCX24 platform is pretty much gonna look the same. It's got the same metal frame rails, shock towers, cross bracing, the battery's located in the back, same bumper mounts, same plastic links going down to the axles, and the axles are the worm gear style. They've got the small transmission in the center. It's got a metal motor plate on there, ball bearings throughout. So you're probably going, Greg, where's all the changes on this? Well, they now gave us the oil-filled shocks on this, which is a really nice upgrade on the JLU, because the original one, between the tires and the soft suspension, had a little bit of a lean to it, and sometimes the rear just sagged. So it looked a little sorry at times on the trails, and this one is going to sit a lot better with the new shock setup. Really like the feel of those. And then the other change is to the electronics. So it actually still has the same AS1 servo up front, but now you can see the Spectrum logo on the 2-in-1 system. It's a 10 amp speed controller. It does have the extra ports in it. So if you want to go add some more lights or maybe just use this as the receiver, you'll be able to do that. It has the on off switch here. They also now have a Spectrum branded battery pack. It's still 350 milliamp and secured down with Velcro. So there's your major changes to the version 3 of the SCX24. So now let's head out and see how the rig performs stock with these few little changes. Then we're gonna head back here to the workshop and I'm gonna show you the option parts that they have available for the rig. I'm gonna go throw them on and then we'll head out again so we can see how it performs with all the options. I gotta tell you, it's a little weird being under a bridge driving an RC car, but it's actually the perfect spot for small scale crawlers. I've been here a bunch and it's time to test out the JLU. So this is the first spot where I ran the rig through, and as you can see from all the tracks, it is just a blast. Look at that, muscling through, awesome. This rocky washout here is pretty tricky. If I don't hit the line just right, it gets hung up on the rocks. I kind of got to hit this little V section here and then power through. Not a problem this time. So I found this vertical rock face here. It's been a lot of fun. I just got to get a little bit of traction. We got it. Now just nice smooth crawl up. Easy. So much more capable with those oil shocks. So much more predictable. I gotta tell you, if you get your throttle just right, I like to put my finger behind the trigger here and get it nice and slow. It looks so much more scaled. Those stock Nitto tires work pretty good. All right, we got a handle on stock. Let's head back to the workshop and install some of those option parts. This stuff's gonna add some weight to the rig, help keep it planted when you're crawling, climbing up rocks. We'll start over here. I've got the hex hubs. Now, typically you would get 2 packages of these. They're 1 gram and you'd put them on all 4 corners. I only got 1 package and I'm actually gonna throw these in the rear because I've got some more weight for the front that I'm gonna show you. Here are the differential covers. These add 6.5 grams and I've got one for the front and rear. Also got the brass servo mount. This adds 9 grams to it. And this will bolt right up without any modifications, and it fits the stock servo. There's a little brass wall on the back of this piece that might interfere with aftermarket servos, so just be aware of that. Here are the brass knuckles. This adds a lot of weight, 12.5 grams. This replaces the steering knuckles up front, and as you can see, it's got a ring around it, so it's shaped much different from the stock version. And then you could add these pieces as well. These are the knuckle weights for it, and there's screw holes in these knuckles. You go bolt these right onto, and so you get a lot of weight in the front end. Help keep the front end down when you're going up and over rocks. And finally, I've got the rear upper link mount. Just adds 1.5 grams to the rear of the rig. So there's all your brass pieces from Axial. Now to swap these pieces out, you know, they give you the small Allen wrenches, but you know, nobody wants to work on a car with a small Allen wrench. So Dynamite has this startup toolkit for their 24 scale, for the Axial 24 scale, and it gives you the bits that you need, the smaller hex driver, the wheel nut wrench, and this little multi-tool here. And while we're talking about Dynamite, they also have a stainless steel screw kit for this. Gives you all, I believe, all the screws that you need, even some washers and stuff. Looks like maybe some lock nuts as well, or regular nuts as well. So if you're gonna go through water and you're tired of seeing your rusty screws on there, you might want to go and add this. Now I'm gonna go and throw the brass parts on. I'm gonna leave the screw kit off for now. That's a major rework of the car. I just want to go drive this to see how this stuff works. Now, typically what I would say is, you know, you want to have upgraded electronics with this because obviously we're going to be carrying a lot more weight. But since this video is about the latest version of the SCX24, I'm going to leave it stock as is for now. We'll just see how these parts work. All right, guys, I'm back in the same spot with the brassed up SCX24. Been driving it around for a little bit. And what I noticed is, like with any other rig we add weight to, that it just helps smoothen it out. I mean, this thing is still got the stock electronics and stock suspension. It's just a little bit smoother on the rocks because of that extra weight. This little sandhill is still my favorite spot, and the rig's kind of digging in with the extra weight. It's crab walking here. Look at that thing. It's motoring through though. That looks so awesome. This is the spot where I really wanted to test it out. Yesterday, I can only get it up over here because it's a little less of an angle. There's a steep face right there. I want to see if this thing can attack it. Let's go. Hit the rock face there. Look at that, crawling right up. We've got traction. It gripped and it's up. That was very cool. Really like the way this thing handles with just a little bit of extra weight. If you're just getting into Axial SCX24s and you like the Wrangler, you picked a good time to get into it. I like this model a lot better than the original version. And I'm not really saying anything bad about the original version. It was a lot of fun when it came out, but just a few little tweaks that they've made to this platform really make it much more enjoyable. I like the Spectrum radio system. I find it a bit more comfortable than this original one. The SLT protocol that's in here works really well too. I like the smaller diameter tires on it. Makes the rig handle a little bit better than these taller original tires. And then the oil-filled shocks. Huge difference. We don't have the springiness anymore. Makes the rig a lot more predictable and easy for you to drive. And then when you get used to it and you're ready to finally mount it, as you saw, there's a ton of option parts from Axial available and other manufacturers as well. There's a lot of stuff out here, so you could definitely go wild with your builds. But the brass is definitely a way to go. You know, if you throw some brass on here, it's gonna settle the rig in, make it even more hooked up on the trails or climbing up rocks. And as you guys saw, you know, I just had a blast with it. I loved installing the parts, everything fit together well, except for two items that I need to tell you about. Number one was the brass servo plate. It says it's for the SCX24 on the package, as well as the AX24. It actually fits the AX24 better because that is already equipped with a 4-link suspension setup, and this has a Y-link up front, and there's really no way to attach it. So what I had to do was I had to go make a 4-link setup for the front of this, and what I wound up doing was using some Endura links that I had lying around, cut them down to, cut the end links down, and then the total length of the link out to the outer ends was 44.5 millimeters, and I think that's about the right spot for it, and that's how I got the front upper brass servo plate to work. So, not a direct fit for the SCX24. Technically, it fits on there. The other issue I had was the round brass weights that go on the knuckle. That again is more suited for the AX24. It didn't fit with these wheels. So maybe if you add option wheels, it would fit, but it's definitely not gonna work with this stock setup. Wanted to let you guys know that as well. Other than that, really fun rig. They're priced at about $125, which is, I think, is what a number of other Axial SCX24s are priced at. Reasonable, a lot of fun to drive, awesome for indoors, outdoors, and I'm definitely gonna get a lot of indoor use with it right now. In fact, I'm gonna take out my hanger obstacle and have some fun with it. I'll have links for this in the video description below.